Welcome back, guys, to another YouTube video. And today we are doing the 2025 NFL mock draft. So this is my favorite time of year. The NFL draft, a big event in football. It's a 3-day event, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it's a very exciting time to be an NFL fan because this is my favorite time of the season. So yeah, a lot of things are gonna be going down. I'm gonna give you my personal mock draft. You guys will be seeing my live picks as well, so it should be very awesome, and you can see who I will be taking for these teams. So here we go. Let's load up the mock draft. So here we go. I'm using this website, Pro Football Sports Network. It's a free website and has every player that's in the 2025 draft. And you can just pick anything and do trades. You can do a lot of cool things with this website. So here we go. With the first pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback from Miami, Florida. So he is the first quarterback off the board. He is a very good quarterback, probably the best quarterback in this draft class, comparable to Cam Newton. Yeah, he has a big arm. He can throw the ball well, and yeah, and their head coach, Bryce Callahan, um, didn't have his quarterback last season, and drafting your quarterback at number one. Yeah, so the Titans might do well this season. They do have a lot more picks and a lot of early picks because they are the first pick. So very should be very interesting here. The Cleveland Browns are next. They just signed Joe Flacco today, so they're probably not going to go quarterback because they have Pickett, Flacco, and Watson. So they're not going to go quarterback here. So what I'm thinking is get the best player, and that is Travis Hunter. He can be wide receiver, he can be corner for you, but I think the Browns will put him at wide receiver because they have Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome already at 1 and 2 there, and they can just pair him up with Jerry Judy, and I think that'll be a good duo. And if I was the Giants and I would see a dual Carter on the board, that's an instant pick right there. Very comparable to Micah Parsons. He is probably the best player in this draft. Um, yeah, I think he'll go to the Giants if he's there at 3. And if the Giants don't pick him, that's kind of stupid on them. Giants do have Mr. Unlimited and Jameis Winston as their quarterback position and Tommy DeVito. So I don't think they'll draft maybe in the later rounds draft the quarterback, but not with the third pick though. The Patriots are on the clock. This is kind of easy. Mike Vrabel, he wants his offensive lineman, and that's going to be Will Campbell from LSU. The only downside with him, his arms are a little short, but he's a very long body though, so his legs kind of make it up from his arms. So yeah, he's a very good offensive tackle. With the next pick, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're going to pick Mason Graham, defense tackle from Michigan. Again, Jaguars, they don't really need offense. They could go wide receiver, but they need to build this defense up. The Raiders are on the clock. This is probably the most interesting team to draft because they could go running back, they could go wide receiver, corner, all these other positions, but I think they'll get the second best corner, and that is Will Johnson from Michigan. Yeah, he is a very good player. Besides Travis Hunter, he might be the best corner in the draft. So if he's there, the Raiders need defense. So I think they'll get him. With the next pick, the Jets are taking. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but McMillan from Arizona, the wide receiver. His body type is kind of like Puka, but he's not like Puka because he doesn't block well, but he has that frame like Puka. So getting him at number 7, you can pair him up with Garrett Wilson and another weapon for Justin Fields to throw the ball to. Now, I might be the first person to do this, but I think the Panthers um, are not going to pick offense tackle, running back, wide receiver. I think they're going to be going tight end, and that's going to be Tyler Warren. If you think about it, here's my reasoning. They have Adam Thielen, Xavier Legette at wide receiver. They have Chuba Hubba at running back. What else do they need? They don't have a very good tight end. And getting the best tight end that can do everything, can run, pass, catch, that's Tyler Warren right there. And I think he'll be a great fit with the Panthers because that'll help Bryce Young out as well. So I have him going to the Panthers. The Saints are on the clock. What do they do here? The Saints are a team that, like, I don't know who to pick. And I think because Derek Carr just like re-hurt himself, they could go quarterback, but they need a lot of things besides quarterback. They have Spencer Rattler that played okay. But I think it's gonna be Matthew Golden from Texas going to the Saints. To pair him up with Chris Olave. Chris Olave is always hurt, and Shaheed is hurt too as well. So I think the Saints will go wide receiver here. Well, the next pick, the Chicago Bears are going to be picking probably the most athletic player besides Travis Hunter, and that's Ashton Genty. A couple years ago, Ben Johnson with the Lions, they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. It's probably going to be like the same thing, but they're going to pick Genty here. The 49ers, they lost a lot trying to pay Brock Purdy next season, so that's what they're going to be doing. And they're going to get one of the second best defense player in the draft, or third, actually. But that's Jalen Walker right here. Yeah, he's a stud. You move him at defensive end, pair him up with Nick Bosa, move him inside with Fred Warner. I think that could be a nasty duo. But yeah, I think they'll go defense here, and I don't know who it will be, but I think it'll be him because he can be versatile. The Cowboys are on the clock. I think they're going to go Shamir Smart. Not Smart. Stewart. Yeah, he went to Texas A&M, but pairing him up with Micah Parsons, that's what the Cowboys need. They need pass rushers, and pairing him up with Micah Parsons could be a good duo. The Dolphins are on the clock. Trevon Armstead just retired, and you have offense tackle right here. Ahmad Membu from Missouri going to the Dolphins because his pro comp is literally like Armstead. So, yeah, that'll be a good pick for them. So the Colts, I've been doing mock drafts recently, and I have the Colts taking Tyler Warren in most of them. But in this one, I think they're taking Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan, probably the second best tight end in this draft. If he would be in next year's draft, he would probably be number one tight end, but he'll be number two because Tyler Warren's just a dog. The Falcons are on the clock. They need a lot, but I think they're going to replace Grady Jarrett, the one they lost in free agency, with Derek Harmon, defense tackle from Oregon. I hope the Steelers might get him. That'll be a great pickup for the Steelers, but I have them going to the Falcons. The Cardinals are on the clock, and I do think they'll go with Michael Williams from Georgia. He's probably the third best edge rusher in this draft. He could be good, but the downside with him is his size a little bit. Yeah, and it'll be a good pick for the Cardinals though. The Bengals are on the clock. I think they're getting Malachi Starks here from Georgia, the safety. They need defense because they just gave Burrow, Chase, and Higgins big extensions, and they have no defense. And they might trade Trey Hendrickson maybe draft day, so that could be something as well. The Seahawks are on the clock. I think they'll go Kelvin Banks Jr., offense tackle from Texas. They need to protect their quarterback, Sam Darnold, that they just gave a crap ton of money to. So they need to protect him at all costs. The Buccaneers are on the clock, and I think they're going to go with, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce this, but Nick and more. from South Carolina, the safety. Um, they need defensive help. They need secondary help, and getting him, a young guy, can learn behind Anton Winfield Jr. Um, that would be a good pick for them. The Broncos are on the clock. I have them taking running back here. Omarion Hampton, running back from North Carolina. I hope the Steelers would get him, but yeah, he's a very good player. The second best running back. He might be, after all of this is over, maybe in a couple years, he'll probably be the best running back in this draft. Yeah, he's just a dog. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. Steelers need a lot. The only quarterback we have is Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. We have no defense tackle besides Cam Hayward and Keanu. We need corner help. We need running back help because we lost Najee. So the Steelers need a lot with not a lot of picks because we traded for DK Metcalf. So what did the Steelers do here? They take the best player available, and that is Shedeur Sanders. Potentially, maybe the Steelers get a good quarterback in the later rounds. Maybe the Steelers. I think the Steelers might trade back a little bit, maybe like at 32, 31, 30, be like a little bit closer. Maybe get something like a third round pick or something. So I have the Steelers picking Shedeur Sanders. They just met with him, and he likes the Steelers, so hopefully the Steelers could get him. But I would be surprised if the Steelers wouldn't trade up, would trade up for him. So yeah, the Chargers are on the clock now. Um, yeah, Chargers, they need a lot of defense. They lost Punda Ford to the Rams. That was a big loss for them. And then we go Walter Nolan, the young defense tackle from Ole Miss. This draft class has a lot of defense tackles, so a lot of depth for that position. The Green Bay Packers, this is probably the most Packer pick of all time, and they're gonna pick Mike Green, the edge rusher from Marshall. He had a good Senior Bowl, shocked a lot of people, and yeah, he's gonna be a very good player. He's kind of small, but he's fast, very fast. The Vikings are on the clock. What do the Vikings do here? Um, I have the Vikings taking Jade Barron. Jade, I don't even know how to pronounce that name, but the corner from Texas, he's kind of like a slot corner. They do have Byron Murphy at the number one position, and I think they might still have Stephon Gilmore there, but if they can learn behind Murphy, yeah, they'll be good. The Houston Texans are on the clock. They just traded Larry Tunsil. They got a lot of picks from the Commanders, but they're going to rebuild this offensive line with their first three picks, I think. And I think they're going to pick their first pick will be Josh Simmons from Ohio State. He did play with CJ Stroud a couple years ago, so we kind of reunite with Stroud and him. The Rams are on the clock. They need a middle linebacker, and there's a very good middle linebacker on the board right now as Jihad Campbell from Alabama. I do think if the Rams have a very good defense and very young defense, if they get another piece on defense, wow, they're going to be a very good defense and very good team. The Ravens are on the clock. What do they do? The most Raven pick here is going offensive lineman. I think they're going to pick Greg Zabel from North Dakota State, offensive guard, because they lost McCary. Not McCary. I forget his name. But they lost their left guard and lost a lot of linemen in free agency. So I think getting a young offensive guard would be a good pick for them. Lions will go Tyler Booker here from the offensive guard from Alabama. He's a pretty good guard, and going there at pick 29 or 28 is a very good pick for the Lions. Commanders are on the clock. I think they pick Nick Scorton from Texas A&M. You need to pair him up with Payne, a lot of guys they have there. Johnny Newton. They need a pass rusher, so I think that'll be a good fit for him. The Bills are on the clock, and I think they're going to pick Emeka Ebuka from Ohio State, wide receiver. They lost Mac Hollins, some other guys, but they still have Shakir and Coleman. And imagine pairing him up with those guys. Emeka's going to be doing very well. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock, and I have them taking Talik Williams from Ohio State, the defensive tackle. Um, they need a lot. They need offensive line. I think they'll go later for offensive line. That's what they usually do. But I think they'll boost up this defense. And your Super Bowl champions at pick 32, the last pick of the first round, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be taking James Pierce Jr. A couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, James Pierce was probably going to be the first round pick of this draft potentially. But his draft stock went down. Like when I mean went down, it went down. And the Eagles again could be getting one of the best defensive players in this draft, and that's kind of scary because last season they got DeJean, they got Quinion Mitchell. So the Eagles, if they would get Pierce at 32, that'd be scary. So yeah. This is the 2025 mock draft. If you make sure to like and subscribe, if you want to leave any comments down below about my picks, how bad I did, how good I did. But I think this is very reasonable. I think this is a good mock draft. I could see a lot of things happening in this draft. Maybe like teams moving up, moving out. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. And yeah, have an amazing day. See you guys in the next one. Peace.